Because what I usually do is I'll grab like the wall and I'll twist my body. It's as if I'm chasing something like a predator trying to like catch its prey.
Which is funny. I also have a railing on my stairs,
Me too.
and
You didn't.
yet it's not
So
beneficial
when I go
to
down
me.
the stairs, I walk normally and I use the railing.
But going
I used to grab the railing and put my palm on the wall and do an acrobatic fling and then launch myself to the bottom landing. And then next one, I grab both railings and then also do a flip.
Sounds
And then
like so
land
much fun.
like Spider-Man.
And that's like when you're walking down the stairs.
It's if I have enough energy, yeah.
You'll do.
I
like
wish
a
I could do that.
Spider-Man, Like
I'll be like a
acrobatic
full
flip.
acrobatic down every flight of stairs because it's like the 2 landings on the stairs.
That reminds me of in Black Widow when Yelena is like, "Why do you always do like that?" The little pose that Black Widow does.
Yeah,
I do that?
And does like the hair flip and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
You do that.
Yeah. And then
Where
it's either that or I walk
You
down.
land as a tripod and then flip your hair
Yeah.
with your right leg all the way out.
Well, it's not legs out. It's more of like toes touching, and I do it's like I'm a ninja, like on the top of like a little rooftop.
Toes touching.
Like,
Yeah,
so,
like a plie.
okay, that's what I was going to say. So, like a plie, basically.
Yeah.
Why did you compare it to Spider-Man then? Because I was like,
Because he also usually has his feet together when he's on like roofs and stuff.
he's very
Well,
graceful. I
when
feel like he would
Spider-Man's
be.
like posing on rooftops, it's like he has heels together and he's crouching.
Yeah.
Really?
Like a gargoyle.
His toes are together, like crouching. You know what? I always wanted to be able to like crouch with my whole foot being able to touch the floor like
You're not able to do that.
Asian people. No, unfortunately not. I can, but then my feet kind of like tilt, so I'm not on my full foot again still. But like my heels are still being
You
able
can
to touch
change
the
that.
ground.
That's a flexibility thing.
By the
I'm
way,
also not flat-footed.
we've begun recording.
Oh, I figured.
So
you know,
we are live.
This is fun. You know.
But yeah, so I either do the whole acrobatic spiel,
Okay.
or I walk down the stairs with my hands behind my back like I am Count Dracula, and you have walked into my castle as a guest.
That's great. I love it.
And like you don't take steps, you just kind of hover down
Yeah,
the
you don't see my
stairs.
body move as if I'm using my feet. But I also wear I have a robe that I wear,
Uh-huh.
like a bathrobe type thing.
Oh, what kind of robe?
It's like a blue. It's a very comfy robe, but I don't wear it with my arms through it. I put it over so the sleeves are down.
Yes.
But then like you do the waist drawstring?
No,
Oh.
no,
so
it's like-
just a cape,
it makes it
a
so
cloak.
Yeah, I essentially wear it as a cloak. So when I'm walking with my hands behind my back, you can't see it keeps the ambiguity of what my arms are doing,
I see.
and I like having.
But just having like a coat or a robe on your shoulders is also a very big fashion piece statement. That is one of my favorites. I think people who do that look so cool.
It's a look, and I
know.
like to
It's
look
great.
like that look.
It's wonderful.
Thank you.
Wow.
But then when I go up the stairs, I either grab the railings like a very old man, and I go one step at a time, both feet, or I am running on all fours like I have become feral and you are trying to get away from me and I have to get you to eat you. And then as soon as I get to the top, I just stand upright and I walk to my room.
I'm just imagining like the horse girl. When you say that, when you go up the stairs.
Yeah, I mean, it's horse girl adjacent. I'd say like dingo boy.
Dingo.
Because like I'll be going, and then someone will ask for me because they assume I'm still not upstairs yet.
Okay.
But I have already gone upstairs within a second and a half. I am up the top of the stairs, and they're like, "Why do you get up there so quick?" And mind you, I also do it as quietly as possible.
Okay.
And sometimes
That's the
late
dingo
at
boy.
night, I'll slink up the stairs like a burglar because I don't want to make a noise. I
Like-
don't want to wake up anything.
Okay, so when you say you slink up the stairs like a burglar, are you like on your tiptoes, crouched down with like your hands?
I
every other
am
step?
crouch tiptoeing. The hands are more of like a fanned out to keep balance
Gotcha.
as a
see.
counterweight. That Or again, I do a Spider-Man where I'm crawling up the stairs like some sort of the Grudge from
Okay.
yeah.
That makes sense.
So if you weren't asleep and I wasn't waking you up, and you were awake and you rounded the corner, you would see me crawling in like a shadow, because again, my robe is cloaked over my body,
That'd be terrifying, honestly.
so you don't see my limbs. You just see my cloaked body crawling up the stairs. We got a new carpet recently, which is darker. It was a white carpet. Now it is a dark gray.
Would you prefer a dark gray carpet or a white carpet? Like, I think dark carpet is better, but it could also just like mute the room.
See, I think the way our house is laid out, it's definitely better. Because at first the walls were an off-white. The carpet was the exact same off-white. So everything felt like some sort of asylum or just like a template. Like this is what the room was supposed to be. Like, so you can make it a house, but you decided to not ever do that. And that's what it stayed as. And so finally they got new carpets and they repainted the walls and everything. But now the carpet's super dark. So if I'm slinking around on the floor covered in a dark blue robe at night with no lights on, you're probably going to think that death has come for you, or at least one of his cousins, his coworkers, maybe.
Oh man, that's a good story.
Like my family gets scared every time they come around a corner because when I'm in my house, I'm like dead silent, unless I'm like in my room.
You're dead silent and you're like against the ground.
Yeah, but like anytime I'm sitting anywhere, like if I'm just sitting on the couch and I'm like just on my phone or like reading or something, they'll turn and then they'll be in my room doing something or whatever space I'm in, and then after like a minute or two, they'll notice that I'm there and they'll jump and like yell, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't see you there." And I'm like, "I've been here for like 45 minutes." And they're like, "You're just so stealthy." And I don't know what it like. They like you have like a cloaking mechanism. And so I've begun
Your
to think,
existence is a cloaking.
yeah,
mechanism.
and it's like I begin to realize that you won't notice me at all unless, I want you to notice me. Because then it's hard to ignore me.
Yeah,
Because my presence is alarming. But
your chaotic presence is.
when I am quiet, and you'll almost forget I'm even a thing that exists.
Then you just stalk in the shadows.
Yeah, then I lurk. Beyond your peripheral vision, I'm always there.
And then you'll slink like a burglar through the hall.
Through the shadows.
And then do a Spider-Man leap down the stairs.
Gracefully, might have been. I've never fallen.
And then you land doing a black
Widow.
pose and flip your hair.
Flip my hair up.
So we can see your cleavage
Yeah.
down your
Yeah.
shirt. Yeah, leather.
Because again, I do go to the gym.
Maybe
just
you
not
should
to be a
teach me
bodybuilder.
how to walk up and down the stairs. Maybe I won't
It's
fall.
intense. It's
but-
a
Walk
very
up and down the stairs like a ghoul.
yeah. It's a violent way of approaching the stairs.
I mean, are you sure?
A completely unnecessary way.
It's a part of me that likes things being really efficient.
Efficient?
It's the fastest way to get up
I
them.
guess that's a good point, yeah.
And the fastest way to get down them is by just skipping them and jumping all the way down.
Yeah, if you like leap up the stairs on all fours. Yeah.
I mean, did you ever think about just putting yourself in like one of the plastic tubs and just
riding it like a
riding
sled.
it down?
My stairs
Nick,
got
that would be pretty fast to get
two
down too.
left turns I would have to make. Two hard lefts. A 90-degree left twice.
Okay. So your flight of stairs is not a standard.
It's 4 steps,
Okay.
a landing, 6 steps,
A
landing, 4 steps.
Wow.
And then the sort of loft area.
Maybe those type of
Maybe
stairs would be better.
2 plastic bins.
Oh,
Do a
like
transfer
a relay,
at
yeah.
the landing.
I'll fly in a 1 bin, and then I'll go down.
You'll
And
do
I'll
like an
fly in another-
Avengers.
Yeah.
move.
This is possible.
Or, hear me out. Big yoga ball at each landing. 1 plastic bin.
Oh, and it's like Donkey Kong, where he shoots into a barrel, into another barrel, into
That's
another barrel.
perfect.
Yeah.
Speaking of darkness, now when I said I was slinking through the darkness, no lights are on at this point. Everything's pitch black.
I kind of assumed
I have learned that brown eyes adjust to changes in light exponentially faster than people with blue eyes or green eyes.
Do you have scientific proof for this?
On me, no, but the internet does.
What's your peer review study say?
Essentially, it's that they're able to absorb the light at a faster rate, and the cones are able to adjust quicker and adjust your vision quicker, essentially. So, like, if you're in a dark room and then you go into like a bright room,
and he wouldn't.
I would adjust quicker. Like,
Okay.
it'd still be really dark for me, but my eyesight would adjust a lot faster to the change.
Good to know. Good to know.
So, like, for
So I
example,
just
like,
be making random
like if
swings
me
in
and
the
Doug
darkness.
were in the trunk of a car, like you drove me and Doug out
What?
Okay. Okay.
in two separate cars, and we're in two separate trunks.
Oh, okay, we're not on the same. Track.
No, bags over our heads.
Me and Tasha are driving.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and then you drive us out to like the middle of the just Nevada desert, and
we
it's
get to
like
Nevada?
and it's like high noon,
High noon.
high noon,
What the fuck?
and you rip open the trunks and you take it off, take off the blindfolds. Mm-hmm. It's so blindingly bright from us just being in darkness for so long, but my eyes would adjust within like 15 minutes at most, like to be completely like unfazed in the light adjustment, where Doug would take like an hour.
Oh, I thought that would be like
Really?
a lot quicker, like in seconds, like 15 seconds, and he would take 30 minutes.
Well,
you
no,
know?
you like when you're in complete darkness, your eyes
is
don't
the
adjust.
ratio like a quarter?
Essentially,
4 to 1?
yeah, like essentially, yeah.
That's a big deal, though.
Let me fact check myself just to make sure.
We're gonna need the fact checkers on this.
We're gonna hit the internet on
Kendall?
this one.
And see, when we park, we take the blindfolds off you guys.
The
Who
bags.
was driving? Who was driving who?
Yeah, good question. 2 cars, 2 kidnapped subjects, and Trinity's behind both wheels. No. We're both in the trunk of 2 cars. One's pulling the other.
Oh, even better.
Trinity.
Which one was actually being like driven? Like who was actually driving the car? It's a good one.
Yeah.
Even better that I'm driving.
Well, who else would it be?
I don't know. Nico,
Oh God.
drunk.
Oh no. So just a regular Wednesday night.
Honestly, you know.
But see, that's a perfect
Here
moment
we go.
for a soundboard.
But then it'd be fun
The
to just
truth
do-
about light eyes and light sensitivity. Dr. Horn, MD, explains
He's a medical doctor.
that photophobia is what it's called. The term is used to describe light sensitivity, typically affects people with light eyes because they have less pigmentation in multiple layers of the eye than those
of the
with darker
iris.
eyes. Because of this, they are unable to block out the effects of harsh light like sunlight and fluorescent lights.
Fascinating.
So it doesn't mean like permanent loss of vision or anything, but if you have darker eyes, seeing or focusing in bright lights can cause pain around your eyes. So like squinting or rubbing your eyes is something that you'd find yourself probably doing more if you had lighter eyes, like green, blue, or like gray eye colors, because I feel like I don't ever really squint in bright light that much.
Really?
Yeah,
Damn.
Interesting. You wear contacts?
I do. Colored contacts. Mine are actually white.
Oh.
Actually, I have blue eyes, yeah, and I'm cheating the system.
Okay, I see. Makes sense.
But no,
Checks
yeah, I wear
out.
contacts. But I feel like I don't squint very much.
So you don't have astigmatism.
No, I don't know what that means.
I have astigmatism.
Fully.
So
Basically,
do you
so
have
when
contacts?
I can't wear contacts
Because of
because
your
my eye
astigmatism.
shape is all wonky. It's gonna fall out.
Are your eye okay?
So then no,
Do
I
your
don't.
eyeballs look like boobs?
I don't know.
So like.
Oh,
instead
Now
of
that you
being-
say that, I kind of want them to.
So instead of your eyeballs being perfect spheres, are they like oblong and then your pupil kind of sticks out?
I think so. I haven't actually really asked my eye doctor or whatever the hell he's called. You know what the fuck my eye
optometrist.
shape?
Ophthalmologist?
What? Why did I get two different answers?
Optometrist. Obtuse.
Obtuse to midst.
But yes, that's why I can't wear contacts. They'll just
I think that's
fall out.
an astigmatism thing.
Yeah, because like
No,
But
the
Vanessa
eyeball.
also has astigmatism, and she can't wear contacts.
Yeah.
But it's always fun to look at lights, looking at the fun little like. Juice.
Getting the fucking rays into your balls.
Yeah, but my sister and I were talking about whether like brights, on the cars.
Oh, like bright headlights?
Yeah, like the headlights, like the different types, because we have like the yellow light on cars and like the LED light. She was saying, I feel like some of them are brighter, and I was like, well, duh, one of them is an LED.
Yeah. Oh,
LED,
absolutely.
like almost
Some are brighter. Also, if like the height of the headlight also makes a difference. Like pickup truck headlights,
That makes sense.
always brighter
But
than
anyways,
sedan headlights.
I was telling her that
because
I
they're
couldn't
hitting
really
you right in
tell.
the fucking face.
I couldn't really tell because like the little pew thingies are like this exact same brightness for like even if they aren't the brights, even if the brights aren't on,
Yeah.
they kind of look all the same.
True.
But yeah, my eyes are just built different, I suppose.
Different than mine.
Different
You
than-
and Trinity could see the same.
Yeah.
Because for a while I was like, man, I got some boring ass eyes. Just brown. But
But your eyes are superior.
But I
Yeah.
love it when people describe eyes like, oh, his eyes were ocean blue. And then you get like, people with brown eyes like her eyes were the color of dirt.
A nice hazel chocolate.
I was supposed to
See,
have
but yeah,
green.
like you could say that for hazel eyes, but you can't say that for freaking brown eyes. Like they were chocolate. What kind of chocolate? Dark chocolate, milk chocolate, white
God, I
chocolate? Because
hope
you
not
don't
milk
freaking
chocolate.
know.
That seems like a bad color. Eyes.
Milk chocolate.
But then you also just have they're the color of dirt, the earth.
Earth.
You can even say it was the color of shit,
A good
like
nature color.
manure. While the other ones you got like the color of limes, the color of emeralds.
A nice grassy meadow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, dirt meadow. That's a swamp, really. Like a marsh or
I feel like a swamp is
quagmire. That's a biome.
Biome?
That's an ecosystem.
your eyes were the color of an ecosystem. That's a
Your
good one.
eyes reminded me of a nice,
Louisiana bayou.
of a nice Scottish marsh.
Scottish marsh.
She reminds me of the Highlands.
The loch.
The Loch. I miss Scotland.
What color is a Loch Ness monster? Do we know?
I would say that it's probably like, if what I remember correctly from the movie The Water Horse, it was like a gray blue,
It was gray blue in that movie. It also had human eyes, which I didn't know.
which was that was a little freaky. Not gonna lie.
Blue eyes, therefore, when it sticks its head out of the water, it should have been squinting.
It should have been, but it is also another animal, reptile. What the?
When my cat looks into light, she squints and blinks really hard because she's got blue eyes.
Does that mean
not
it's
only
the
that,
same
but
for
the shape
like
of the pupil and the iris.
they also have yellow eyes? So does that mean they also have a hard time?
With what?
Light.
I don't know. I mean, cats have nocturnal vision because of the shape of their eyes.
Do you think that's the same thing for avatars?
No,
Are we
they don't
talking
have the
like-
same shape of eyes.
No, I know, but I'm
Are we
saying
talking
like
the Navi?
yeah, the Navi.
Okay.
Oh, with light, because they have really
Yeah.
light eyes.
The blue ones have yellow eyes, and then the teal ones have
Blue.
blue.
Just wait till we get to the forest biome of Pandora, and we
shit.
see all the
I
brown
saw in the
Navi.
news that there is actually the next one's going to be the fire Navi,
What?
which are like ash Navi.
That sounds like fun.
When you say ash Navi,
They cover themselves in ash.
okay,
Okay, so they look gray.
Or really, yeah.
they look African.
What?
I have no idea. James Cameron said
Ash
we've
is
seen only
gray.
Yeah, but
When you mix blue and gray together, what color do you get?
I don't know.
Gray.
Okay, so they look ashy.
Exactly. They need
He
some
looks
lotion.
lotion.
Yeah, they need lotion.
To
They need some
moisturize.
lotion. I'm sure they can find some natural
'Cause
moisturizer
James
in that
Cameron said
forest.
you've only seen the negative sides of humans and the positive sides of the Navis. So in the next movie, he
Oh.
wants to change it and show you like the aggressive war kind of.
But so does that mean like in the next movie we're gonna see our ashy Navi, and whatever that general's name was, fight? Because I mean he's still out there. still alive,
I hope
still
he's not
kicking.
like a villain through all 5 of them.
Because
I
that'd
thought
be
he
boring.
died at the end of the first one,
He did, but he's in the second
and
one.
then they retconned it that
No.
he didn't die.
Nope.
Resurrection.
It's a clone.
He's a
An
clone.
Avatar.
Okay, look, I haven't seen Avatar
What
2.
the heck?
Haven't seen it.
The heck?
Sorry.
They
Hey, good name by the way.
What
The heck?
the heck? That's what my nephew says. I have a very bad potty mouth, and so I'll say "what the fuck" a lot. So I've been resorting to "what the heck."
Yeah.
My friend Ryan cusses a lot, but he's also religious.
Well, that's
So he doesn't say "God damn it." He says "Gosh damn it."
Oh, he says gosh. He doesn't take the Lord's name in vain.
No, but
he'll still swear.
I started saying that after he said it because I enjoyed the way it sounded
gosh,
so much.
damn it.
Because it's like such a
Damn it.
soft. You go to "gosh," which is a soft word.
Yeah.
Right into a harsh "damn it."
What
And it's
in the
just
GD?
yeah, it's "gosh damn it," and you're like, ooh. And I just like the way that just. It's just like it's like a waterfall. It flows and then it just goes straight into it.
Or you could, roll off one of those GDs. What in the GD heck is this?
GD heckin'.
My favorite one is HE hockey sticks. Like
I heard someone
that's a
say
long word.
the other
Might
day.
as well just say hell.
Someone said HE double hell the other day, and I said, "Let's wait. You got spirit, kid.
Or you could just go full Norse on it and with the HEL,
Ah,
Yeah,
that's
cut out
true.
the middleman.
Yeah.
You just need the one.
Yeah.
Good one, yeah.
gets
Gets
the
the point
job done.
across.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's with Oh wait, never mind. No.
No, come on, speak it.
Yes.
In Nordic mythology, hell is the realm of death as well. Is it Hel the god?
Hella?
Hela?
I'm pretty sure Hel is the Marvel version.
But I
think
thought she was a
Hel-
real.
No, she's a real god, but I think it's pronounced Hell as well.
Oh, really?
As like Hades is also the realm of death, but also the god is Hades.
Oh.
I think Hela is a change of it.
I cannot confirm nor deny that.
Like how Freya is called
Yeah.
Frigg as well.
But
And then
isn't that because they spell it differently too? Like for Freya, I feel like I've seen like multiple variations of spellings.
I mean,
in the
most
game.
Nordic things have quite a dense collection of consonants in there. Not big on the vowels.
yeah. So what's your take on Love and Thunder, how it ended?
Yo, I haven't
How
even
it-
seen it yet.
You haven't, and then you're getting on him about Avatar too.
I know, which is so funny.
You said you're a Marvel fan as well.
Hey, I was saying I was more of a mutant Marvel fan.
That's true.
I did tell you guys. You knew this information beforehand. But go ahead, spoil it for me. Might as well. I was gonna look up the ending anyways. That's
Oh, well,
just
good.
what I
It's
do.
it's the worst Thor movie in my opinion.
Really? Because I've heard people really like it.
I mean, I'm not gonna dog on people liking it. It's just
Ragnarok was pretty good.
Yeah, Ragnarok holds the title for best.
Yeah.
Thor. I honestly, I think Dark World's is the worst.
I didn't like
Dark World is just. I mean, it's still serious Thor as the character of Thor being like a serious character, and so the plot's very serious. But like, if I rewatched it, it's the only Marvel movie I've never seen in theaters. And I watched it, and the first time I was like, "Oh, this is boring." I was like, "I'm not really into it." I watched it a second time like a year ago, and was like, "The plot's actually good. It's just that the villain isn't super interesting design wise, and like." They didn't really push his plot forward. So everything's very muted, very dark. But then the plot is like huge for the implications of like the Infinity Stones and stuff. Like that movie pushes that plot forward in a major way. So I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. It's just not as memorable as a lot of the other ones.
I see.
I think you might be right about that.
But like where that one's very serious and dark,
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder is the exact
It's a
opposite.
cartoon.
Where it's almost like caricatures of every character.
Yeah.
And my issue, which I found to be like the same issue as like the Transformer movies, like the last two Transformers, like
Okay.
the fourth and the fifth one.
Okay, that's acceptable. I was going to say,
Like the
don't
last-
hate on my Transformer movies.
Oh, I love Transformers.
Okay, that's
loved-
another conversation.
Yeah. But
The way Love and Thunder ended.
no, not even just the way it ended. So like throughout the plot of it, like the last, and I think the problem became bigger as you continued the Transformer movies, where there weren't characters that were serious. Each character didn't have a personality. in Transformers after like the first two. It became every character was a similar version of the same character where they just made jokes and said dumb lines. And so then there's no serious character and there's no emotion, because then when you have a scene that should be serious, you throw in a random joke or like a weird thing that goes on.
Yeah.
And in Thor, what's her name? Natalie Portman's character, Jane.
Jane Foster, Lady Thor.
Yeah, she
Another thing about
in the
Love
first
and Thunder,
two movies.
there were too many comic relief characters.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
the same thing with Transformers is like every character's got to be a comic relief.
Yeah.
Why? Why are you doing that? That's not
Thor
necessary.
is like a comic relief half the movie.
The goats are comic relief.
Yeah.
Everyone but
Even
The villain.
even Mjolnir and Stormbreaker were comic relief.
even they
Yeah.
even they were being like weird little pranksters.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce that? Thor's hammer?
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir.
Yeah. The J is silent.
That's the
Mjolnir.
Yule.
Yeah.
That's the meal. That's
The
a meal
pronunciation
of
of the Norse alphabet.
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir.
But
Mjolnir.
essentially that was like my issue was
Yeah.
like Valkyrie comic relief this time around, where in the last movie she was more of a serious, she's kind of the straight man.
Uh-huh.
Jane Foster is also the straight man in the first two Thor movies,
Yeah.
very serious character, where her friend, whatever, I forget her friend's name, Darcy.
Yeah.
Darcy was the comic relief for Jane. In this movie, Jane's like, I'm Thor now. And then she's like, I need a catchphrase every time I swing my hammer. And it's like, that
Yeah.
doesn't seem like a Jane thing to do.
Yeah.
Especially when you've been in a relationship with this character for years in the plot. You've been dating this character.
How long's it been? 4 years?
Yeah. And it's like,
Did they really date for 4 years and like?
well, in the movie, she got turned to dust. She was one of the
Yeah.
people that turned to dust. So for him, he's like, it's been like 8 years and like blah, blah, blah. Because when they broke up, it was
yeah.
before that happened. So he counted like the days and then the weeks. So it's like, that's funny.
It's been
He's
8
like, well,
years,
he's
7
like, but
months,
who's counting?
13
Yeah,
days.
I'm
Who's
not-
counting?
he's like,
Not
I'm not
me.
counting. But it's like that, and then it's like sort of this like weird like sort of like the dick sizing type thing, where it's like all of a sudden she's really good at being Thor.
Yeah.
Which is what they should have continued. It's like she's good at Thor. She's not joking around or being a goofball like he is. She's getting the job done, which is what it looked like from the beginning of the first scenes you see her in. And she's got like a good looking suit. Like she looks like she's here to take care of business. And he's like, oh, her suit looks good. I need to make my suit look way better than hers. So then he gets this bright blue, super gold, extravagant suit because he's like, I look even better now.
That sounds terrible.
And he's like, well, my hammer's bigger, so it's better.
Doesn't he have like an axe and stuff?
Yeah.
Stormbreaker, yeah.
And then there's a whole thing where he's having like, he sees Mjolnir back together and he's like, oh, and then Stormbreaker's like jealous. And it's like, stop it.
Yeah.
But like every time there's a serious moment in the movie, it was thrown aside for jokes. You go to the realm of all the gods, not just,
Was that Mount Olympus?
no, it's, I forget what it's called.
They go to Mount Olympus.
So this is the part of the plot where they need to stop Goro because he is heading to
The character,
eternity.
the villain is called Gore the God Killer.
Yeah.
And
The
as
God
gods,
Butcher.
they're like, yeah, God Butcher. And so they're like, oh shit, he's killing
He's killing all the gods.
a lot of us.
So,
So
Reminds
there's
me.
a
Thor.
city, I forget what it's called. It's like some like Omni City or something. But
Yeah.
it's essentially where all deity type characters in the Marvel universe meet. And that's where they all like kind of stay and stuff.
I like that. That
And the
sounds like
Olympic
fun.
gods in the comics are the strongest of the deity type characters.
there's like tier god level. Right?
This is good.
so the Olympic
Norse
gods.
is sub Greek.
Yeah.
right?
So like Zeus is like the strongest of the god characters.
Okay.
Everybody cheers when Zeus
Yeah.
comes to the.
And then
Honestly, Zeus is such an asshole. He is an absolute dick.
which is how they
Kind of
portray
an
him in the
ick.
movie. In the movie, they portray him as like just a weirdo, kind of an ass, which is like okay because like Zeus in mythology is an ass.
Yeah.
But then there's deleted scenes from Thor: Love and Thunder where like Zeus is giving him like an actual like
Pep talk.
and he's like, Thunder, you're not the god of thunder. Like anything can be the thunder. It doesn't have to be actual thunder. And he's like gives him like an actual like good thing to learn from. And they said, you know what, we don't want character.
We don't want character development. No, no.
We've developed him in the last movie.
Yeah.
And so this movie he gets to be stupid.
Yeah.
Okay.
And through stupidity, he beats Gore the God Butcher.
Yeah. Yeah, so they go to the city of all the gods because they needed to recruit some muscle to take on Gore the God Butcher because they knew what he was planning and they needed some backup. They go, they actually fight Zeus. It backfires. Their plan backfires.
Into a point where he kills Zeus.
Yeah.
He killed
Yeah, because
Zeus?
he takes Thunderbolt, Zeus's weapon,
Yeah.
and thunderbolts Zeus.
With
Yeah.
his own lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Honestly, Zeus kind of deserved it. Not gonna lie.
Well, when you watch the movie, you're like, yeah, this is just an idiot. Like, okay. But then it's like, you're trying to stop the gods from dying. So you kill the biggest one.
You kill, the machismo grand god of all of the gods.
That's funny.
So that backfired.
Well then,
And then,
You're really helping Gore at that point.
yeah.
You've helped him with one of the big boys.
Yeah.
yeah, it makes his job way easier now.
So then they use...
So then cut to,
and like all the scenes with Gore were done so well.
yeah, Christian Bale really portrayed that character
Like, he was
very
frightening.
Christian Bale.
He's frightening, and the whole thing is like
But
he's...
like you have empathy for him too.
Yeah, and his powers come from the dark dimension, so all the scenes where he comes in, color kind of gets desaturated, and it's a good visual. And then when he's using his god powers, like he brings light back into like the areas they're fighting, so there's like a cool color effect going back and forth. And Gore's kidnapped all the Asgardian children.
Yeah.
He just kidnaps the kids.
Yeah, so in the beginning or near the early part of the film, he attacks New Asgard and uses a huge distraction of shadow monsters to keep the townsfolk busy while he kidnaps all of the children.
Sounds like a big pedophile move. Not gonna lie.
Why does he do it?
He does it because he knows that Thor will come to save the kids, and then he'll get Thor alone and kill Thor.
Because he needed one of either Mjolnir or Stormbreaker to open the gate to Eternity. And Eternity is a character in the MCU that is the center of the universe.
Yeah, and he can like grant like a wish or
any
something.
quote unquote mortal can reach Eternity, he
Oh,
grants
and
wishes.
yeah, it's because those two weapons activate the Bifrost, which allows you to go through the gate. Yeah.
So this is some deep MCU lore. So cut to, he actually gets to Eternity. Like he opens the
He
gate.
beats them in a fight on
Yeah.
like a really small planet.
Yeah, like an asteroid practically.
Yeah, and they fly straight into the planet. They crash straight into the side because they think it's further away, but it's actually just really small.
Yeah. It's just a floating asteroid with like a tent on it.
Oh my god. That's
And then they fly right into the side, and the goats scream, I think, like 36 times in that movie.
Yeah, they scream.
The
too
first
much.
couple times, you're like, oh, that's funny. They're annoying goats.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh, wow, they really are annoying. And they just rolled with it for the rest of the movie.
I see.
Anyways, so he opens the gate to Eternity, and it's Gore Eternity, which is just an omnipotent kind of
Yeah, it's
entity.
like a silhouette entity that looks like the universe.
Thor and Lady Thor, Jane Foster, are all in Eternity when they kind of admit defeat.
Quick subplot. Jane has cancer.
Stage 4, whatever.
And she became somehow worthy for Mjolnir because Thor said something about protecting Jane. And so Mjolnir's,
If we remember, at the end of Ragnarok, Hela destroyed Mjolnir.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So in New Asgard, they have a monument to Thor's Mjolnir. They
Okay.
collected all the pieces, and it's just on display. When Jane Foster came to visit New Asgard, when she got her diagnosis, she approached Mjolnir and it started shaking, and it recombined itself because it decided that Jane Foster, Lady Thor, was worthy.
Yeah, because essentially Odin made the thing, whoever's worthy, whatever, and it's that little seal on the thing that only Thor can pick it up because he's worthy. But then Thor made some kind of thing that he's like, I like protect Jane, and it changed the code to also
The
protect.
rune.
Yeah, the rune to protect Jane. So then the hammer could tell that she was sick or somehow, I don't know. And then so by protecting Jane, it gave her the god powers and made her Thor. So then she's super healthy when she's in the Thor state.
But she's not.
As soon as she's
It was kind of a double-edged sword because she was so powerful as Lady Thor, but the powers were then preventing her body from like fighting the cancer.
yeah, so when she got out of the state, she was even sicker than before.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
So it's like perpetually holding a hammer. Anyways, they end up in Eternity, and what happens? They kind of have a one-on-one talk with Gore about, yeah, you can end all the gods. I'm not going to fight you. So I'm going to spend the last moments of my life,
Well,
holding.
you skip the part where Thor frees the children and then
is
gives
that
the children a
Yeah.
speech. He gives the children a speech.
Is it a good speech though?
Is it?
It's
is
a
it
dumb
primary to the
speech.
plot?
No, but this is what I'm saying that ruins it for me. The movie, the big
Yeah.
climatic end fight scene before they tell Gore, like, fine, you win, kill the gods, is between Gore's shadow beasts and the very children they try to keep from danger. They're like, fuck it, you kids go crazy, and he gives them like a speech, and they shoots them with Thor lightning, so they all have Thor powers for like the fight scenes. All their eyes are glowing yellow, and they're all shooting lightning out of literally everything.
Children?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
So
one has
they-
like a teddy bear, and he's shooting lightning out of the teddy bear.
He told the children to all grab, I don't know, like a totem of their weapon. And so one of the kids grabbed like a teddy bear to fight with, and then he transcended his powers onto them for this fight scene. And it was a bunch of kids fighting shadow monsters.
In their
with Thor's-
PJs because
yeah.
they were kidnapped while they were going to bed.
Yeah. So it was
And then
pretty cringe.
Gore still gets through the gate, and they end up in like this like crazy looking. It's like a eternity pool.
It's
you
kind
know?
of like in Infinity War when the young Gamora was like, "Is it worth it?" to Thanos. Kind of like that state.
yeah, except at like in a sunny day instead of like a sunset thing.
Yeah.
And then there's eternity there, and then he's like, "Well, I'll spend it with the one I love because Jane's dying because Mjolnir broke again or something. I forget what
Fuck
happened.
Mjolnir.
No, Mjolnir's fine at the end of the movie. Either way, she's like, it's fine. Like it's time for me to go, and then she dies for good this time.
She dies, becomes dust inside of eternity.
So does she become a part of eternity now?
No.
No, because
She's just there? She's just chilling as dust?
Gore still makes his wish.
But
He wants all the gods to
What
be
was his
dead?
wish, Nick?
He, instead of killing all the gods, was like, oh,
I can make any wish.
so
I want my daughter to come back.
Is Jane his daughter?
No.
Fuck. That would have been fun.
it's
Who's his daughter?
actual daughter.
It's
'Cause in the
Chris
beginning of the movie,
Hemsworth's
essentially
actual
his-
daughter.
It's actually, Chris Hemsworth's daughter.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Chris Hemsworth's wife plays like a wolf woman in the beginning.
I did hear about that.
And then
yeah.
his son plays the younger version of him.
That's funny.
But yeah, it's so Gore's daughter essentially, they were in a desert and they prayed to their sun god all the time and never listened. And then the daughter dies and Gore's still alive. And so he's like, and then he finds like an oasis.
We kind of didn't mention that part.
We didn't mention Gore's backstory at all.
That's okay. That's fine.
Which
I don't
again
care.
was a very serious note. Is
Yeah.
every scene with Gore very serious? Everything
So wait.
else a joke.
So Gore is just the serious character? That's
Yeah.
it? Oh,
That's
okay.
literally the only serious character.
That's kind of boring.
Yeah. But
And
man,
that's
he
what-
played a good serious character.
No, in the scenes where he would come out of the shadow a lot, and his face like was sunken at points, so it looked like a skull. So he looked like death.
Yeah.
And he comes out of the shadow. There's like a scene where all the kids are like, "Don't worry, Thor's gonna save us," and he tells like a story of Thor beating a bunch of kids, like the little kids do. And then all of a sudden, Gore's like, "Oh, we're telling stories," and he's like, "I want to tell a story." And he's like staring at all the kids, and his eyes are like these crazy yellow. Like he's just frightening to look at
Yeah.
too. And it's not even like they did a bunch of prosthetic makeup. They just like colored his
It's
skin
just
differently.
performance.
Because in the comics he looks like a super alien. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't look human at all. But he like tells a story and he's like, yeah, and he's like, oh, and he has like this little he makes a shadow monster and he breaks its neck in front of the kids. And then he uses it as
Yeah.
a puppet to talk to the kids.
Even better.
And you're like, this guy is messed up. And it's like super dark. And every scene he's like makes all the other characters cry. And he's like, oh, and he's like just messing with them mentally before he kills them. And then essentially he was like a really faithful guy to his gods. And the reason he wants to kill him is because,
They betrayed him.
yeah, essentially he was in the desert for like days with his daughter. And then they found like an array, like their planet was drying out or
Yeah.
something like that. And so he's praying for like the sun god to like give him water or something.
Be
something
their
like that.
salvation.
Yeah. And then he finds like he's like after his daughter passed away, he's like wandering, and then he sees an oasis, and he's like, "Oh, what?" And he goes into the oasis where he finds that god that he's prayed to,
His God.
just having a party, really, just getting crazy. He's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "Oh," and then he's like praying to him, and he's like, "Look at this thing, this gross little thing." Like the person, he's like, "I don't care what you want." And he goes, "You pray to me." He goes, "I don't help you.
Your life
Does it
is
kill that God?
sacrificial. It's
And
expendable.
then for some reason that rage makes like the shadow blade come out of the shadow realm, and then he kills the god.
Yeah.
And all the people are like, and then he's like, oh, I have a new vow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill all of the gods because gods are selfish.
And so begins Gore's quest to kill all the gods.
And he makes
Pretty decent, origin story.
Yeah, honestly, if I was him, I would
They did
also
really well because they
be
told
like,
that in like a 20-minute.
Was it really that long?
No, it's
It-
probably like 10.
Yeah. Anyways, it was really good exposition. It was the very first scene was Gore's introduction.
nice. I
Yeah.
like it.
And like the part that saves the movie slightly for me, and then Thor promises to like look over Gore's child.
Does Gore die?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why does he die? I don't remember. They might
Something
have
about
had,
his like life force with the sword. I think was
because
eating
they
his life
just
source.
broke it, didn't they?
Yeah, it was a similar thing to Jane, where that sword was kind of eating his life force as well. It was giving him powers, but then it was also weakening him.
So now
Which
Thor
is why
has a
his
kid.
face and everything was getting more.
Thor has an adoptive child. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she has like Eternity's energy in her because he used Eternity was made her, so she's got like laser beam eyes and shit like that. It's weird.
Yep.
Because the movie ends with them like fighting natives in some random alien world.
Yeah. Something like that.
To-
Like, the
Together?
character's like over the top. Like you've made your character too over the top when like the Guardians of the Galaxy, which are like the most over top group in the Marvel movies, in the movie are like serious kind of, and they're like, okay, we gotta go, and they're like, we're gonna leave you here. We're gonna go do our thing.
Yeah.
Because Thor is weird.
I was glad they got rid of the Guardians early in Love and Thunder. I did not want to see too much of the Guardians.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But the post-credit scenes were interesting. Do you remember them, Nick?
I actually don't remember what the post.
So the first post-credit scene.
There was two.
Yeah, so the first post-credit scene was Zeus.
Oh, that one was good.
Who
I actually
plays
did
Zeus?
Like that. Brian. No, I said Brian Cranston.
Russell
Crowe.
Russell Crowe. Russell
Okay.
Crowe plays Zeus. Fat. And he looks very Greek.
Yeah, and he actually has an accent and
Yeah,
everything.
it's great. Great performance.
Yeah.
He's like sitting down and he's talking. Oh, I don't even remember what he says, but it's like,
He's sick of the gods no longer being prayed to,
Yeah.
and people praising humans like mortals as superheroes. And he's like, I want to change that and make them fear gods again.
Okay, you want to know the funny thing is when you guys said superheroes, like humans praising them, like obviously you mean like the Avengers and stuff. I
Yeah.
thought of Steve Jobs.
That's interesting.
That's very.
I don't know why I thought
That's-
of that.
Anyway, so he tells.
Steve Rogers.
So Zeus tells his son Hercules to go and kill Thor.
And in the comics, Hercules is like equal in strength and power to Thor.
Okay.
Thor and Hercules.
Which makes
have
sense. They would
always
kind of
fought.
be the
He's
same
like, yes,
character.
Father,
Yeah.
I will kill him.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
I'm
in the
ready.
comics, Hercules has come around to being a very good superhero and like joined the Avengers and stuff like that.
He's like the
So-
Punisher at first, where he's like, I'm just gonna kill people.
That
Yeah.
sounds like fun. Honestly,
I did like that one. I actually did like that.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
And then the second post-credit scene. Do you remember this one?
No, I forgot that one. I liked that one.
Jane Foster
Oh,
materializes
Once
Yeah,
again.
that's
in the
right.
gates, and
Of-
she's of what you wonder, and is approached by Hemdall, and he is like, Jane Foster, you are more than welcome to stay in the Palace of the Gods.
Valhalla.
Welcome to Valhalla.
That's nice. She say no. Because if she
No,
does, that's
I-
such a bitch move.
She, like, smiles.
Honestly, if she says no, I'm
It-
going to be like, Jane, shut up. Go in there.
I think it cuts to black at that point, but
Yeah,
I think
she's like, oh.
I like the character development because that means, okay, so she fought and lost an honorable battle to Valhalla because she ended up in Valhalla to cancer. She lost to cancer.
Fucking cancer.
But that also means Odin is there in Valhalla, and the Loki we like, who
True.
died in Endgame,
Dad?
is in Valhalla.
Original Loki.
Original Loki. So maybe we'll see original Loki and Odin again, and
In Valhalla? Who's
Valhalla?
dying next? Thor?
probably not. But in
Because I
the-
saw something. Chris Hemsworth goes, if we do the character again, I want it to be different than Love and Thunder. I think
Yeah.
they've all
Who
recognized.
was
they
the
went-
director for Love and Thunder?
Same guy as the
Taika
director
Waititi?
for
Taika Waititi.
Ragnarok.
Really?
And
Yeah.
see, the thing is too is some people pointed out when I was like looking at reviews, and someone goes, the whole story's narrated from by Korg, the rock
The
guy.
rock guy.
And so people are like, it's from Korg's point of view, which is, and he's there the whole journey.
Yeah.
I was wondering. I was gonna say that earlier when you guys were like they were looking for some like muscle. I was like, where's
Korg.
Korg gets
Korg?
literally
He's-
blown into pieces.
Yeah, he becomes a face at the battle with Zeus. He becomes
Zeus throws
a
a
face.
lightning bolt straight through the guy, and he just gets.
Oh no!
But apparently, the Korg's race is literally just their face.
Oh,
Just-
so he
yeah.
was like,
So he's
oh
just
my
like a
god,
little-
that's so
he's just
funny.
like-
Yeah.
It's like
like a porcelain mask, but it's just a
yeah,
rock face.
and they just put him on like a
Oh,
wall.
it's okay,
and
Thor.
shit.
It's okay. It's okay, Thor. I'm okay.
And he's just talking.
Just pick me
and
face up, please.
All Korgs are men.
Yeah.
So wait, how did they just build it?
Two men decide they want to have another Korg baby.
But
they
they're
like
just
hold
faces.
hands. They hold hands or something in like a volcano.
Yeah, that's where.
This is lovely.
And he meets like his like love interest at
And
the
then-
it's like in just like a
And
quick
then I decided I wanted a little Korg baby myself.
yeah, and it's like a guy. It's like a guy named like Brian or something. Like,
Korg and Brian.
it's like literally like a normal person's name.
Oh my god, this is good.
And he's got like a mustache. He's like a thick black mustache. He looks like
Yeah,
Like-
a thick handlebar.
yeah.
Mm.
And so it's like it's just weird, but that saved it a little bit where it's like the movie's so ridiculously dumb because Korg is telling it and he's like an idiot.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so that saves it for me in
That's a
that
good
aspect. If like you pull yourself away from like how it's over the top from just a perspective of the movie.
Yeah,
Like if Korg's the one telling it, that makes sense why it's so weirdly just silly in most cases.
yeah,
It's because Korg's just dumb as hell.
yeah.
Well.
Well, on that vein of Jane Foster being in Valhalla, in the comics, Odin brings her back to life as a Valkyrie. So we might see Jane Foster Valkyrie in the MCU.
Honestly, I'm getting a little tired of Marvel movies, not gonna lie. But you
that's
know
true.
what? I'll indulge
Which,
myself.
to be honest, would make sense because the Valkyrie we know is busy ruling New Asgard.
Yeah, she's doing a great job.
Yeah, the last few things I've seen of Marvel have not.
Is she still an alcoholic? If so,
I think she's a recovered alcoholic.
well, shit.
Valkyrie.
I
Yeah.
wasn't drinking in that movie.
Yeah.
Dang.
I mean, she did go on a little bit of the adventure, but then
She was like she was like the president of New Asgard, so
Yeah.
she was doing a lot of like diplomatic stuff. She was just bored
yeah,
because she didn't get to go fight things.
yeah, and she was at the ribbon cutting ceremony for what Infinity Scoops.
Sounds
It's like an amusement
terrible.
park. New Asgard was
God,
like an
now I'm-
amusement tourist trap.
kind of happy I
Literally.
didn't go see this movie.
I
I mean,
yeah.
I can watch it anytime
Yeah.
because Disney Plus, love you.
But yeah, it's like the last few things I've seen with Marvel. It's like they're trying to rush things out.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, do you see how many freaking movies they have, and then they have to replace the whole Avengers cast now with like their
And yeah, they
new
should've
Avengers?
started
Like,
taking their time to do it, but they said, "Nah, we gotta pump these bad boys."
They really should have taken their time.
Because like She-Hulk was my least favorite Marvel show,
I'm not gonna watch it. I've made the decision. Like,
and that one also
Not
I
to
think
watch
they were supposed to have a second season. They canceled it. They're like, "We're not.
Good job.
Really?
Yeah, it's not coming back for season 2."
Wow. So it's just one and done. It's over.
And it was supposed to have multiple seasons. It's just like the
Yikes.
way they told the story wasn't like it's like the plot that involved the MCU, which every show kind of does have something like that. Was in the last 2 minutes of every 30-minute episode.
Ugh.
So you get 30 minutes of like their own standalone thing that's
Yeah.
not really a cohesive plot. And then you get like 2 minutes of like, oh, this is building up. And then at the end, the whole buildup is that it's not building up and you get a fourth wall break for 25 minutes. That's just nonsense. And it's like, okay. There's like 2 good episodes. There's like, I think I enjoyed the first episode, the 6th episode, and that was it.
Woof.
And the rest I just kind of powered through it because it's not terrible, but it just doesn't. It's goofy, and then it's just I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
Because I liked Moon Knight quite a bit
yeah.
because it didn't mention anything else in terms of the MCU at all. It was like its own standalone thing, and it dealt with a very heavy topic. Because I was enjoying all the shows at first because they all dealt with trauma and
Okay.
different responses to it. So like the first one, like Scarlet Witch lost like her like husband essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
And so she goes into like a state of grief where she creates this whole world for her where it's perfect.
Yeah.
And she's like, I lost my brother, I lost my love interest.
Yeah.
And then she builds like a family and has like this perfect picture thing because that's what she wanted. And then as the show builds on, you realize that she's manufactured all
She's
this and she's
coping.
grieving really hard. and it's affecting people really poorly. And that builds her into the Scarlet Witch character, where she learns things because of her grief. She exploded like a very big amount of magic, and that pulled characters in. Good plot.
Yeah.
Next one is like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which deals with PTSD of the stuff and like we no longer have Captain
Of
America.
people who came back after being snapped.
Yeah, and it's
All
like deals
these-
with,
all
it-
these
It deals with
refugees.
the world having to rebuild, of having 50% of it ripped away and then brought back in an instant. It's not like the Avengers told everyone like, "Hey, we're gonna go save the world and bring everyone back." They're
just
like, we're just
happened.
gonna do it.
Yeah.
And that's another good plot point where it's like all these governments are now figuring shit out again. And it's like, am I Captain America? We have to fill the vacuum of power because we don't have a Captain America anymore.
Yeah.
We don't have super soldiers anymore. And so it's like that. And then Bucky's like trying to rebuild who he is as a person because he's just been a soldier since he's been alive.
Yeah.
And then that's a good one.
Yeah.
And then like Moon Knight is just a trauma thing for the character because he's got multiple personalities. And the plot is that those personalities were built to protect his main one. So when he blacks out, it's because like they're all different coping mechanisms, and the way they go through it, there's like it's just really well done. And the last like 3 episodes are just essentially the characters like realizing or like taking away those gaps in memory and actually re-remembering the things that made him traumatized and have the different personalities. And then they all like, it's just so well done, and it has nothing to do with the rest of the MCU, and it's not rushed. It's good. And so I like that. And then I forget what the other shows were. Like Hawkeye was like a survivor's guilt thing because Hawkeye wanted to be the sacrifice instead of Natasha.
Yeah.
And he sees all these things about remembering her, and he feels super guilty because he felt like he should have been the one that died, and he didn't deserve to live because he was Ronin and he killed a bunch of people and
Yeah.
just went down a dark path. And
Killed
then-
the Yakuza
and like
and
did all
the
these things.
mafia.
And he's like, I
and
should
the
die. But then he like
cartels.
kind of builds on like this kid wants to be like a hero, and she kind of helps him through it and stuff, and gets him out of the funk.
Mm-hmm.
All really good shows. And then there's like She-Hulk, where it's like we're gonna throw in a new show with a new character, but it's her show, her thing, and it's not gonna involve anything else. But we're gonna throw in a cameo from a bunch of other things, but then also go really hard on telling you like these cameos aren't why the show's important. And then keep doing it. It just kind of like retroactively did a lot of stuff, and it like called out a lot of things where it's like the villains of the show were like people on the internet being mad at She-Hulk existing. She's like, because the real Hulk had to work for his powers. Not true,
Yeah.
but also like it was just like they were calling out what people in the real world were saying about the show in the show. And then that whole arc would look like it was building up to someone stealing her DNA to make like another Hulk enemy. And then they were like scrapped that whole thing. And that was the whole plot point that was building up at the end of each episode. So then it seemed like it built up to nothing. Except the fourth wall break where they confirm we're gonna do another Hulk solo movie. But it's like you're in it, like it's a Hulk's movie.
Yeah.
Huh.
And that was like the whole show was about. And I was like, okay.
An entire show for a build up to a movie.
Because like I liked her character and I liked that, and it just didn't. None of it ever felt like I was watching a show with substance. And, like Miss Marvel was
Quantumania
good.
looks good.
That looks really good. I'm hoping it's good.
The new Ant-Man film.
Yeah, I know. I see lots of trailers about it, you know.
Yeah.
Because Black Panther 2 was really good.
Okay,
know-
that's another one I haven't seen yet.
Which one?
The second Black Panther.
Oh, crying.
Dang.
Cried.
It's really good. That being said, the last fight scene, there's some CGI things that bothered me. But that's been a weird thing, like Marvel, since it's rushing out too many things. I don't have time to make good CGI.
I
Or,
know.
like,
They're going
polish
to
a lot of
shit
it.
now, honestly.
It's getting worse. Like Thor, there's a thing where it's like Heimdall's child is like a main character in the
Yeah.
thing.
What?
Yeah. So
And he keeps
That's-
they keep putting their face like the way they did it. It was like they had like their face was just like floating in the sky, and it's like Thor, we're kidnapped, and it's like the visual effect of it was so bad. It was so like it
Good
just,
lord.
it
Yeah.
just seems very rushed for a lot of it.
I feel as though I've made the executive decision.
Like
to,
Doctor Strange movie being like a 2-hour movie.
I was excited for. I haven't seen
should
it either,
be-
but I was excited
It
for it.
should
But I
be
heard it
way
was not
longer
good.
than it was for being
But you want 3 hours?
for a movie
Yes.
that goes through multiple universes.
yes.
Yes, Black Panther 2 was almost. It was at 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Okay, you're not wrong.
Yes, I want a 3-hour Doctor Strange movie
You wanna know
about the
what's
multiverse.
So funny is that I didn't even get through the first hour of Avatar 2 without needing to go to the bathroom.
Really?
I think I peed in like the first 15 minutes.
Wow.
I had to go.
But like Black Panther 2, there's like some parts in the plot where I'm like, this is getting dragged out a little too long. And doesn't need to be 2 hours and 45 minutes. But the last
Yeah.
fight scene, like Ironheart's suit looked ridiculously bad.
Yeah, I wish it could have looked a lot better. And then I was also like, given that I haven't watched a lot of Marvel like Avenger movies, I figured I was like, are they hinting at a new Iron Man with?
That's essentially what she
Yeah.
is.
But like, they
Ironheart
should
is-
confiscated the suit, and then I was like, what the hell?
Oh, Ironheart. She can just build another one.
Yeah, I
like,
know, but not as good as tech as
They
have in
confiscate the
Wakanda.
one she made in Wakanda because it was made with vibranium.
That's pretty. That's pretty fair.
But yeah,
and the
I
suit
felt
that
like
they
it was
made-
too bulky.
It was too bulky, but everything was super smooth. It did look like a Fortnite skin. That's pretty much what it looked like.
Yeah.
It was super smooth. All the texture was just like a gloss metal finish. But it was like red, black with neon blue things like striping around. I was like, what am I looking at here?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, within the MCU, Ironheart, she is canonically smarter than Tony Stark.
Good.
So she will absolutely be able to recreate anything better than Tony.
I liked her character. I don't
Yeah.
really like the way they like introduced her, kind of.
It was a little. I mean, it's like it makes sense. It just again, it feels rushed.
Yeah, like her character, she was a techie. She loved to build things. She had her own little garage. You know, like
Yeah, she's an engineer.
yeah. Why introduce her? Like, sure, she's a student. That makes sense. She's young, but like, try having her sneak into Wakanda or whatever. You know, like if she's so into tech, like she'd want to try and get an internship at like Stark.
Like for
Enterprises
what
or
college
whatever.
she went to, it was like
What? Did she even go to MIT?
it was something like MAT. I don't remember what it was.
I didn't like it.
But she went to like a super smart school, and then she built she did like a project for her entry exam that was like the metal detector that helps detect vibranium since the vibranium wasn't being able to be detected before. And she did it for just a project, and then the government stole it and used it.
Yeah.
And then that's when they find her. It's like, oh, this is the person who invented it, and then she didn't know that the government took it and stuff.
Yeah.
But then the Namor's
Intellectual property theft.
yeah, and then Namor's people are like, oh, this girl found vibranium, and they're finding vibranium in the ocean, which is where he's from. And he's like,
Go
we've been
Mexicans.
undiscovered for hundreds of thousands of years.
Yeah. They were honestly
And he
vibing,
goes,
yo.
and they're like, you know what? We're gonna have to kill this girl because she's gonna discover our people, and we're supposed to be.
It was legit like we're gonna kill her. There was no thought. It
He's
was
like, either you bring her to us, and we kill her, or
we kill you and kill her.
we're gonna kill you first, and then we'll kill her.
Well, cool. Gotta love Namor.
Love him.
I loved the movie.
Yeah.
I still classify Black Panther 2 as a colonizer W.
Oh, absolutely. If the two
It's just because it's like
indigenous nations
the
are fighting
indigenous
each
people
other.
were like, we should be allies.
Yeah.
And because he's like, I just want to kill all the colonizers. And they're like, you can't just kill all the colonizers. And he goes, well, if you're not going to help me, then I'll stop you first because you're the second strongest nation in the, because we're the strongest.
yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
And then he goes,
I mean,
they were.
Did anybody know about them?
No. Yeah.
And he goes, and then I'll kill everyone on the surface who stole everything from us.
Damn straight.
And
And
then
starting with
then it swapped
France.
into none of those countries taking any blame or flack or getting any
Yeah.
in trouble.
Yeah.
And then those two nations just murdering each other.
That is a colonizer dub.
I will say I
A
did not
rare
like.
colonizer.
I did not like the design of the what did she call them? Angels, like war angels or whatever.
I forget what they're called. It's like
did
the
not like
Midnight Angels.
The Midnight Angels. I hated the name too. I was like, that's a terrible freaking name.
It's a little, when you think about it, it's pretty bad.
I feel like their design could have been better, but I've never seen like what they look like in the comics.
In the comic, they look exactly like that.
Oh well, shit.
But the thing is like, if you're doing that,
Mm.
there's, because people, I think there's a lot of people that have issues when it's like, you need to be a comic accurate costume.
No.
And they do that a lot as like a gimmick where it's like, in
They're just as
in the
needed.
WandaVision show, they do Wanda and Vision in comic accurate looks, and that's them in a Halloween costume
Okay.
for a thing. And so
Yeah.
they're wearing like tights and they look like ridiculous. And it's like a nod to the comics, but it's also not what they're actually wearing. It's like a weird thing to not get into like the whole semantics of
Yeah.
the show. But then the Midnight Angels look exactly like that in the comics. I think they look a little bit better in the comics actually. Like
I want
again, it's like the weird thing where it's like the CG, like the whole suit and everything they were doing, then they just flew around all the time.
Yeah.
Their suit was fully CG and it didn't have any weight to it. It didn't feel like it was actually in.
But one of
That
the reasons
world.
why I love like the Wakanda, like their elite soldier outfits, I was like, that looks great. It is simple to a T. Like
Yeah, and it's real, so it doesn't feel weightless.
Yeah.
But that one,
like,
I was like, that's just a lot of
But
shit. going on.
Ironheart and then the two Midnight Angels just felt weightless because the CG, the lighting, it just there didn't feel like it was actually there.
Not good. Anyways,
Interesting.
I am super excited for the Deadpool movie with
Same.
Ryan Reynolds and Hugh
Same.
Jackman.
Yeah.
He's coming back.
Yeah.
He's coming back.
He said he was excited. I just saw an interview with him.
I know.
He said he was excited because he's getting to do something with Wolverine that he's never gotten to do before.
Ooh. Are we talking sex?
I'm thinking yellow and blue suit.
Oh.
Oh.
OG.
I'm thinking.
Man, I can't wait.
I just need to see Wolverine in the suit once
Yeah.
in my life.
And you'll be able to die happy.
He was my favorite X-Men for so long.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, like
It's yeah.
it's Wolverine.
Yeah.
That's the best line from Logan. Is the guy from Louisiana getting in the back of the car and he's like, "Why as I live and breathe, the Wolverine." Best scene.
Yeah.
As I live and breathe, the Wolverine.
Yeah, that was such a good movie.
Yeah. You know, with an aging Hugh Jackman, I would appreciate seeing the reprisal of Old Man Logan.
Oh.
Jack Human.
Jack Human. Yeah. What did I say?
You said Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, that's what I thought his name was.
No, his name's actually Jack Human.
Okay. Well, I would love to see an aging Jack Human do Old Man Logan, the Marvel
The
offsuit.
actual arc with the
Yeah.
Hulks and the.
Yeah, yeah. Hulkland and
Because
the,
essentially they teased that the next movie for Hulk is World War Hulk.
which again is an
Because then
alternate.
there's a whole plot point in the last episode of She-Hulk where she's like, well, what about why is Hulk flying to the Skull planet, whatever, Sakaar, the planet he's in Ragnarok? He's like, why is he going there? And then the guy's like, well, we're gonna explain it in the movie. And he goes, well, what about Hulk's son? Like, they talk about that. And he goes,
Scar.
and he goes, no, we're gonna do that in the movie. And they're like trying to convince her. And then she's like, we're not doing that in your show. And she's like, okay, cool, because that's not what my show's about. And then they throw him in right before the credits. Just Hulk comes into a
here's my son,
picnic with
Scar.
the family, and he's like, here's my son, Scar. And the son is just standing there, no lines or anything. Quick cut, and then it's like the credits, and I'm like, so you did a 5-minute bit of not revealing anything about
And that's World War Hulk,
yeah,
where
and he
a
threw it
lot
in.
goes down.
He threw it in the family brunch, and I was like, so even it's like they kept going back on what they were saying they weren't gonna do, and it just wasn't it.
Yeah.
I'm being honest, Hulk is like one of my least favorite characters.
I like
I mean,
Hulk from the Hulk standalone movie,
Yeah.
the first Avengers.
Ed Norton or Eric Bana?
I think it was Ed Norton.
Yeah, I liked Ed Norton's Hulk.
It wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah.
But the thing is like that movie, Avengers, Age of Ultron, and Ragnarok are very good for the character of the Hulk because Bruce Banner is also a very complex character in those movies. Where, like, Ragnarok, he's been Hulk for so long that now Hulk's in charge.
Yeah.
And, like, in Avengers, he doesn't want to ever be the Hulk. And then, so, like, Tony and him
The
have, like,
thing
a
is, I'm
relationship.
mad all the time.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm mad all the time. And then he's also like,
oh no, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
and like Tony keeps prodding him and treating him like a friend. And then like he's like, what do you mean this is like a gift? He goes, it's not a gift. And Tony says in the movie, he was like, yeah, maybe you just haven't found out why you've been given this gift yet. He's like, and then come to Infinity War or Endgame, he goes, oh, I was made for this. And that's how he knows he got the gift, you know?
So he could snap beep.
So I think
people back
legit
to
everything
reality.
up into
Oh,
End.
there goes gravity.
See, I think the reason why I don't like Hulk as a character is because I love gory movies. You know, I love a good fight scene. Like if you were jumping upside down, being able to kick him across
And
the wall.
honestly, if the
like,
Hulk is
mwah.
there, people should be like squished.
Yeah. Why am I not not getting that. Like, that's another reason why I don't like monster movies. I had to watch Godzilla with Justin. I was not impressed. Like, once he had whatever, the first monster in the Godzilla, the remake, the first one, he didn't pull her mouth open. He just decided to blow fire in her. What the frick, man?
Yeah.
You had every opportunity to pull her
I like
apart.
those new Godzilla movies.
Hulk
I gotta be
is
said.
just Hulk smash. I'm just gonna done.
Mm-hmm.
Grab somebody.
It has to be
pull her-
palatable to a PG-13 audience.
Well, yeah,
That's the
but,
weird
it's
thing is like
fucking
in the
terrible.
third Iron Man movie.
I need to see somebody
he,
shot.
he just shoots people with guns in the
Yeah.
third Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
I
literally
watched
fills like
Iron
a
Man.
light bulb with nails and he blows up a guy in a pond or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me the unfiltered violence, and I will be a happy camper.
Yeah, they need to
Well,
take the
have you
filter off
heard
a little
of The Boys?
Yes, I have, and it is on my watch list. I have heard it is
It's good.
good.
It's very good.
It'll be shocking to your palate, I think.
Well,
I mean,
we
hey.
are reaching about an hour and 5 minutes.
Wow.
Do we have one last thing we want to round off on?
Monster movies suck.
Oh yeah. I mean that's gonna be a long. That's
All
gonna
right,
be like
all
how
right,
long?
Something short.
Something short.
What'd you say?
Monster movies suck, and I just need unfiltered violence.
Like-
Okay, so we've gone an hour and 5 without even talking about what the title of this show is.
I mean, they're certainly gonna know now.
What-
after-
what,
after
like-
listening to this fucking
what-
hour long.
And this is our intro. You are listening to
Okay, chaos.
OK Chaos.
Okay. What monster movies do you like? What counts as a monster movie?
Okay, Godzilla for sure. That's a monster movie.
Okay, what
I
are
will
themes of
Is
monster
king
movies?
Of the monsters.
I will say this: Pacific Rim
Monster movie.
is a monster movie.
Absolutely.
But that's one that I
It's also a
enjoy
mech monster movie.
because exactly, you know, like the kaiju are fighting back. They're giving me what I want. They are
Yeah.
bashing these freaking Jaegers in,
Yeah.
and that's not what Godzilla does. to me.
Typhoons down!
Exactly, and you
I had
know,
a hat that said Striker Eureka on it, and it was just a bulldog biting a torpedo. It's like a nerdy ass hat,
Yeah.
but since it was just like the logo, it didn't feel as nerdy. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, if the monsters fight back in like a good way, like the kaiju, like I'm all
Second
for it.
Pacific Rim, terrible movie.
I know,
Oh.
that one we don't talk about that one.
Ter-
So,
I
Trinity,
actually started playing
what
hacky
are
sack in the movie theater.
themes of monster movies?
Obviously, it's like us against the monsters, you know?
Yeah.
Like, makes sense. Pacific Rim was exactly that,
Yeah.
too. But the kaiju also were on, like, a higher level, you know?
Mhm.
Like, they brought in the testers. Like, what's going to feel about it, you know? And they're like, okay, we know what they're all about, you know? And then we're going to bring in the exterminators.
So did you like
Because they're gonna
King
get rid of-
Kong?
I enjoyed
Skull Island.
Skull Island. That one was good.
What
See,
about Peter Jackson's King Kong?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
That's a good King Kong.
Jack Black plays a
Jack Black.
straight guy. And I mean, he like a straight character, not comedic.
That sounds terrible.
Hey, he said it was Beauty that killed the Beast. That came out of Jack Black's mouth.
Wasn't that the final line
That was
of
the
the
final
film?
line came out of Jack Black.
Okay, but basically it's like us against monsters, you know, war, obviously.
So do you count Jurassic World and Parks movies as monster movies?
You know, I mean,
Indominus Rex is a monster.
yeah, but all they do is like chomp. Maybe slap you with my tail a little bit, you know.
They have claws.
Yeah.
But that's what the raptors, and that's like what the main.
In the second movie, I think that's the main bad guy. Is
Yeah.
the Indominus Rex, raptor style. I think that's the whole plot.
You know, I mean, I understand that animal instinct is not going to give me much.
Yeah, I never saw the movie Prey that came out last year because it was literally just Jaws but with a lion.
No, that
like
was
Jaws?
Beast.
Beast, that's
Beast.
right.
Yeah.
Prey
was the Predator,
movie.
prequel.
Yeah, I
Beast?
didn't watch that
Yeah.
either.
The one with the lion.
Yeah.
With Idris Elba, they look
Honestly,
dumb as
it was
hell.
a terrible idea.
Yeah.
I remember
I
the
watched
trailer.
it.
She goes, "Oh my God, Dad, they have guns." Well, you also have guns.
Yeah.
It's in the
You're from
trailer.
America, right?
Yeah, you're in like a small African village. They're probably gonna have guns.
Yeah.
And you also have guns, so I don't know why there's a weird shock value.
Basically,
Think
it's
about it,
fault.
Nick.
Your dad's a soldier and he's literally carrying an assault rifle. And you're like, Dad, they have guns. So do you. So relax.
So do you, American.
And it seems to me like the ones with guns aren't the issue. It's the lion that is honed into your car. It wants you dead.
Yeah.
If a wild animal is coming after you that hard, you have other issues than people with guns.
Yeah.
If I'm being hunted by a wild beast that is actually like physically harming itself to get into the car to kill me, I'm trying to figure out what I did to deserve this.
Exist.
Yeah. Which again, if I could only tell the lion, not my choice. I didn't choose to exist. I just started existing, and here I am with you trying to get into my Jeep and kill me.
Yeah.
So yeah. The Mummy, do you like The Mummy?
I did like The Mummy. That one was okay. You know? I got to
Wait,
see
which mummy?
the one with
Brendan Fraser? Tom Cruise.
I never saw the Tom Cruise one. Wasn't
I
interested.
don't know why, but I feel like I have a little bit of beef with Tom Cruise, but we can get into that later.
Let's save it for the podcast.
Favorite part of the podcast.
Save it for.
But anyways, overall,
Episode
Trinity
73.
dislikes monster movies. I need some gory movies. Rip a person apart for me, and I will be a very
Have you watched
happy
John Wick?
person. Yes.
Do you like it? You. It seems
Trinity
like those
nodded yes.
Those were.
That's right. Sorry, I forget that I have to talk.
That was an inaudible yes from Trinity,
And for the fans,
which seems weird since those are some of the gorier action movies.
See, Kill Bill is always going to be a top for me. I enjoy Bullet Train. I
Me too.
like.
It was really good.
Love that one. There's some other gory movies. I can't think of any besides those two. But rip a person apart for me, and I'm good.
Nicholas. How you know we're recording an episode?
Yeah, my friend just texted me, "What's your bowling record?"
Oh.
Because you know it's good.
Oh yeah.
You know it's good enough. What is it?
Your bowling record?
Is it like 236?
Oh, the top
No,
bowling record?
mine.
Oh yeah, yours is 236, I think.
236.
Well, this was enlightening.
This was a great time.
Extremely. You know, I feel like we have a good idea now.
I'm excited to
We
get
didn't
into.
even tell everybody we're missing our fourth member.
We didn't
actually-
even do introductions.
We
Oh my
We don't
gosh.
even have the force.
We've gone an hour and 10 minutes.
What? I
We
think
only
we said
just
only my
introduced the
name.
title.
Yeah,
Like,
we
let's
did
go on.
say.
And
Let us
here-
know in the comments below which one of us is your favorite. Use our first names. You know Trinity,
Me.
and that is it. So I'd like to see what you come up with in the comments below. I'm Nick.
And I'm Doug.
And our missing member is Tasha. She will be here whenever, honestly.
She'll be here for the next episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is coming to you.
Hey, no, we don't. TBD.
It will be coming
TBD.
to you.
Whichever platform you listen to this on.
Let this be a
Whichever
warning.
one we decide to
Let,
put it on.
let this be a warning.
We're coming.
for you.
You're going to want to sleep with one eye
You're
open.
gonna want to hunker down. You're gonna want to check your stairs at night because I'll be crawling up them bad boys.
Well, I guess this is the end to the first episode of OK Chaos.
Honestly, I'm not sure that conversation about the... No, yeah, it did, because I started talking about you slinking up the stairs.
Yeah,
that's in the podcast.
I hope so because that comment makes far less sense.
Well, I was just thinking about, wait, did that even make
I
it
hope,
in?
yeah,
But
I
no,
hope the
then I started
callback.
talking.
I hope that was a callback and not just me threatening you. It was a threat as in the form of a callback.
Be careful about those noises you hear in the house.
You won't hear me.
You won't hear. Oh, okay, that's another. That's another
You'll
point.
hear me. I'm falling down your stairs. Don't worry.
You'll hear her at the bottom of your stairs, and then when you turned around, you'll see me behind you
Yeah,
as this giant man. I say giant. I'm not that big.
but
Teamwork
you're
makes
not.
the dream
You're
work.
not moving.
I shouldn't be there, which
Yeah.
is what's frightening.
And it'll be late at night,
Yeah,
and
like
you can
this
see because
podcast.
your eyes are
What time
brown.
is it?
It is.
8.
It is 8:21. So,
Mountain Standard Time.
come on, that was not necessary.
Yeah, it was.
It is 8:21 local. All right, folks.
don't know.
Oh, that's a wrap.
Thanks for listening to OK Chaos.
Doop 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 doop.